What are we going to look at today? We are going to look at 5 knives fast, 5 old school knives that still get the job done. But before we go any further, I want to remind you guys this is a self-sponsored channel. There's a bunch of affiliate links and stuff down below. That's the best way you can support the channel, really, unless you want to get on a membership. But we'll talk about it at the very end. So let's turn this around and talk about it from above. But first, turn down volume because here comes a little bit of music. Through my collection and I kind of picked out, 5 old school knives that kind of get it done. Now, some of these are more modern than others. Some of them aren't really that old, but they are definitely older than most of the stuff you've seen on the channel, at least 10 years in age, something like that. So let's go ahead and pick the first one and get started. The first one is an Opnel. Now, Opnel knives have been around for a very long time. This is my Opnel number 6. And I think that the number 6 for me is just about the perfect size. I have a very large one. I think it's an Opnel. Hold on a second. I'll grab it and I can tell you. It's an Opnel number 10. Now, this is not something I would just throw in my pocket. And this one was sent to me by a subscriber and it's been modified, has some firework and stuff on it. But the Opnel knives are great. I love the carbon steel. I love the little ring lock. These things are so versatile, so great, so easy to sharpen that they're a great little addition to a field pack. Super, super light. They lock themselves shut because the ring lock slides over. And it is really a simple, simple design knife. And they're not very expensive. So if something happens, you're not going to really break the bank to replace it. These things come in super handy outside in doing small work and things like that because they are so thin. They cut so incredibly well. The blade stock on it, I mean, you can really just see the blade stock on it is thin. It's flexible. Now, if you needed to do like out in a field kitchen tasks, these things are amazing for that. They are a beautiful shape, super comfortable, and you can use them for just about anything. I like to carry one of these. I slip it down inside the watch pocket of my pants sometimes if I know I have some small detail stuff to do. These are also great if you're like in a pair of shorts and things like that and you don't want to have to carry a big heavy knife. And they are just a very simple design. The beechwood handles, you can see mine's been carried enough. I actually have worn the logo off of it and I gave myself a little shotgun stock here. I carved that out just a little bit because I just like the look of it a little bit better. And the nice thing about these, if you want to start doing some modifications on handles and stuff like that, this is one of those knives that would be great for that. These little French knives have really stood the test of time. And like I said, you can't go wrong with one because if you do happen to lose it, I think this is my third number 6. The number 6 is like my favorite size. They're just so easy to replace and things like that. I will put an affiliate link down below for the Opnel number 6. But you can get the different sizes. Like I said, they have the 10. I don't remember if that's the largest one or not, but they do come in a lot of different sizes. Really super handy. Just a simple design. They're great. And the nice thing about them is, like I said, they hold up really well. And if you need to replace them, they're not expensive. So there you go, the Opnel number 6. This next one is one a lot of people are going to see. Are going to recognize, I should say. This is the Cold Steel Tough Light. Now, this was a gift from my father on Father's Day. It was a Father's Day gift from my father, which day of filming right now, it is Father's Day. I apologize for not having said it before. But yeah, this is a great little knife. It's the first knife I ever got that had a triad lock. This is in Cold Steel's AUS 8, and they did a really good job with that steel. Cold Steel has been famous for years. I've said this. They may have some quality control issues here and there with like grinds and positioning of choils and things like that aren't optimal, but they have never had a problem with their heat treat. The heat treat on this is great. So I've had this knife probably about 10, 11 years now. It has broken beautifully. The action on it is really smooth for a lock back. And like I said, with triad lock, you're looking at one of the most robust little knives. I think this is the first knife that I ever got that had a Wharncliffe outside of a Mariner's knife that I had when I was in the Navy. Big lanyard hole, got that Strider-esque thumb opening. and it does have a reversible pocket clip. So these were really great. I remember when they first came out, and then my dad got me one. They're nice little compact. You've got this, even though it is a very small knife, you can really get up on it and it's comfortable. This was set up, as you can see, with the pocket clip over here because I used to carry it in my hip pocket. So it's basically set up left-hand carry, but like I said, you can reverse it. And in a right-hand carry, that falls in and gives you a really good grip. For a small knife, you still have a lot of purchase. Big pocket clip. And this is a tip down, which I'm typically not a fan of, but where it's positioned, it's just about perfect on this knife because you see where your finger rolls through. It's a great little knife. You can't go wrong with one of these Tough Lights. I do know that there's new ownership of Cold Steel. I haven't seen anything, I haven't seen any of the new stuff yet, but I'm hoping that the quality on their heat treat and everything is still done as well. And one thing I will say, that jimping is just basically there for show. It's really soft, but it's a really cool look, almost a full half circle. Nice knife. Been around for a long time, still gets the job done. The Cold Steel Tough Light. All right, guys, you kind of knew this was coming. This is the Chris Reeve Sebenza. This is not the first frame lock, but this was the first mainstream frame lock that really started hitting the market that a lot of people were purchasing. And the thing about the Sebenza is it has truly stood the test of time. This is still an amazing knife. It is one of the knives that I would recommend anyone that's just getting into the knife hobby get. Not even into the knife hobby. If you're just somebody that needs a good all-around performing work knife, the Sebenza would be the direction to go. I've actually re-stonewashed mine once or twice and then re-anodized the thumb stud. You can see it gets carried enough that I've worn the ano off of the thumb stud. This thing is a workhorse. Big hollow grind blade on it. Mine is in S35 VN. My first one was in BG42 steel. It was one of the old classics. And I sold it and then immediately regretted it and purchased this one. I think this is the only knife I've ever purchased twice. So that should tell you something about it. This is a knife that would never leave my collection. I use this knife a lot if I know I have a lot of cutting tasks. This thing with the hollow grind, it is amazingly long lasting. You don't have to worry about thinning that edge back out. It's thicker here than it is back here. So over time, it's actually gonna thin out and cut better. I've never seen anyone wear out a Sebenza. The action on them is amazing. It holds up incredibly well. The lockup on it, a lot of people like to complain and say, oh, well, it's already at 50%. I've had this knife for almost 8-9 years now, I think. I'd have to go back and look at the video and see when I purchased this. And I have not seen a change in lockup. The titanium is done incredibly well. One of the best pocket clips on the market. Blade shape is perfect for pretty much every task. Really good jimping, really good hand feel. It's just gonna be one of those knives that no matter how plain you may think it is, it's always gonna stick in your heart. People, there's a reason these have been so popular for so long. It's one of the best knives out there, and it's American-made product, made in Idaho. Plus, Tim and Ann and everyone at Reeves Knives is an amazing group of people. So there you go. The Chris Reeve Sebenza. All right, I am going to say something that might be an unpopular opinion. Now, this is the lock back. This is that old timer, what was it? The 60 TW in ironwood scales. This is a very budget knife, and it's done in a very budget steel, but I truly love this knife. This is the old timer version. It's very, very similar to the Buck 110. So I don't own a Buck 110 anymore. I used to. I don't anymore because I lost it. I don't know what happened to it, but I got this one from a subscriber as a gift, and I have to say that this Schrade Old Timer 60 TW fits my hand better than the Buck 110. Now, like I said, this is a very, very budget steel. I think this is 8 CR or 7 CR. I can't remember what it was. A very, very cheap steel, but it is still a good, usable knife. And I use this knife a lot. This is probably one of the most used knives. When I did a video about it, I said that this knife probably gets used more than any other knife in my collection because it sits on this counter out here, and packages get opened with this a lot unless I'm opening something for a video. My wife and I, this sits on the counter just inside the door or right here on my workbench, and this will be the first knife we grab if we have to open a package that came in. And like I said, it's just got a really good look. I do know that the Buck 110 probably is a higher quality item, but for the things I'm going to use it for, this thing is great. There's no play in it. It locks up solid. It's a nice lock back. It's a good looking knife. It's really comfortable in my hand because it is a little bit bigger across here than the Buck 110. So they're very, very similar. Nice clip point blade. The action on it is for a lockback. It's not bad, and it holds up really well. So both the Buck 110 and this old timer 60T, the 60 series, have held up and stood the test of time. And they come with a nice leather sheath, so you don't have to just drop it in your pocket. It's actually, for a cheap knife, has a relatively nice sheath. So there you go, guys. The old timer or the Buck 110, this style knife, really, really old school cool, really has held up over the years. And finally, guys, the iconic pocket knife that every child should have gotten as one of their first knives, the Swiss Army knife. Now, this one is a Victorinox. My first one was a Winger. There was two companies that have historically made Swiss Army knives. I think that Victorinox bought Winger. There were two companies that had been licensed to make Swiss Army knives by the Swiss government. And I personally think that the Victorinox ones are better for one big reason. I like the can opener better on this one. But these things were great. These were the first multi-tool. These were the very first multi-tool that ever was out. My first one did not have a toothpick and a pair of tweezers. I don't believe I was like 6 when I got it, years ago. But this is the reason I like it better. This can opener works better, and it's got a small little flathead. So you have a large flathead and can opener. You have a small flathead, or I'm sorry, large flathead and bottle opener, small flathead and can opener. This one has got a pair of scissors, which surprisingly good scissors on this. And then large and small blades. I like the small little blade on this, works really well, but you have the larger blade, which is good as well. And then you have a couple of other little things. You've got your Phillips head, you've got an awl, and you have a little hook for pulling things through. So this is probably one of the best little outdoor tools. I actually have a larger one that has a lot more stuff going on. I probably have owned 10 Swiss Army knives throughout the years. I know I have 5 of them here at the house right now, but you just can't go wrong with a Swiss Army knife. Great for a little gift. Like I said, you even have a little pair of tweezers and stuff like that. And if you get into some of the bigger ones, you have unique stuff, like you have an additional fire starting method if you've got this in your camp bag, because if it's a sunny day, you can start a fire with this. Great, great knife. You can't go wrong with them. They're not expensive. They're really quality made knives. For the price you pay, you're getting a very good knife. And they're just iconic, and everyone should have a Swiss Army knife in their pack somewhere for small duty tasks. So there you go, guys. That was 5 knives fast. Old school cool that still stands up. Let's turn this around and do some final thoughts. Yo guys, 5 knives fast, 5 old knives that still get the job done. It was a lot of fun. I've been thinking about doing one of these videos like this for a while, and I just hadn't thought out which knives I wanted. But since I was sick for so long, I had plenty of time to think about it. So guys, if you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. But if you do hit the bell icon, make sure you got notifications turned on your device so you won't get notified of the items that go up. I'm not going to say 3 a day because I'm still recovering, so we'll see how that pans out. Other ways you can support the channel if you want to do it financially, I mentioned at the beginning. Down below, I have membership. Get in on a tier-based membership. Pick the tier that suits you best, gets you what you want out of it, but everyone saves $5 off my sharpening service, and everyone has access to my gilded server. Other ways you can do it, the big way is affiliate links. Anything you purchase with said affiliate links doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does support the channel. And, you know, they just give me a little bit for having brought that to you. I have a lot of affiliate links. Blade HQ, you can pretty much find almost everything you see on the channel there. Other ways, the final way, I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co. where you can pick up my merchandise at a discount. I can save you 10% anywhere at Ember Shirt Co. and with a coupon code, CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, all one word, CrazySharp. And if you send me pictures of you wearing my merchandise, I will put them in a video. Guys, I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.